What's up? So today I'm going to present factors influencing Chinese international students' strategic language learning at 10 universities in the US. First, let's look at the results and key findings. First, we have the Gauss typology, influencing factors and frequency. There are 4 typologies along with their influencing factors and the frequency. The first one would be Gauss typology, self. The first factor would be learning preferences. So participants identified themselves with a variety of learning preferences such as solitary, social, visual, auditory, and logical learners. The majority were solitary learners with a varied preference for visual, auditory, or logical learning preferences. So we have visual learners who like to watch TV and movies to study English, and then we have auditory learners who prefer learning through music like rap, and then we have logical learners rely on patterns or logic behind English concepts. And then the second factor in this typology would be motivations. So we have motivators like self-interest and practical reasons. Some participants were driven by personal interest in the language. However, more than half of the participants were driven by external pressures because English is perceived as the lingua franca worldwide. Once they came into the US, they were also driven by the desire to reduce miscommunication and access major related information through interaction with native English speakers. The second typology would be the situated activity. And skills and learning content required by majors, active class participation, and critical thinking skills promoted by instructor were identified as influential factors. So each academic discipline taken by the participants had its own discourse and objective, which included a demand for different sets of desirable skills. For example, students from business or accounting majors spent more time developing their mathematical skills and less time developing their communicative or writing skills, while education majors made concerted effort to improve their writing and speaking skills. Continuing from that, we have the difference in Chinese and US faculty expectation about students' engagement practices. So several participants reported that in Chinese classrooms, attentive listening and note-taking were valued and practiced. In that context, they focused more on rote memorization and intensive note-taking in class, while in the US, critical thinking and active learning were valued. So to be successful, they had to learn how to plan and deliver in-class presentations and contribute to classroom discussions. And next, we have the cross-cultural difference. In China, faculty are held in high esteem and the students are encouraged to master the content as it is, rather than form their own opinions. In the US, however, faculty encourage students to think critically, not just through oral communications, but also in writing. In the US, participants are encouraged to critique the ideas of scholars and other students, which propel the participants to engage in after-class research. Hence, they gain deeper understandings of the topics in questions and become an independent thinker and doer. The next typology is setting. So there are 2 factors, instructions and assessment practices. Participants did not feel the need to contact faculty outside of class because they had already been told what to expect on tests, which could be accomplished through memorizations in China. But in the US, professors rarely divulge test content, so participants had to study hard and efficiently. If participants have any questions, they email the professors or visit them during office hours or ask questions directly after the class. And then we have Chinese faculty, which were more product and test-oriented. Students' performances in and after class were evaluated solely based on test scores. In the US, assessment will vary at different levels. For example, participants had quizzes which took small portions of point. Participants had midterm exams and sometimes individual and group projects which took up essential points. And the next typology is the context. The 2 factors are immersion in authentic English-speaking environments and exposure to the social and cultural values of Americans. So participants acquire English both intentionally and unintentionally. Participants mentioned that they made a conscious effort to watch English movies without subtitles to practice their listening skills, improve spoken English by booking flights, calling embassies, participating in school activities, staying with host families, and noticing diverse ways of greetings. They became more attentive to professional manners and discourse, like how to send an email to a professor. As for unintentional language learning, it occurred with the increased exposure to social and cultural values of Americans. Participants learned different English expressions by going to parties, playing sports, and visiting American families. And participants gained awareness of language diversities in the US. Some participants mentioned that while talking to native English speakers, they consciously pay attention to their interlocutors' grammar use and authentic English expressions. And to conclude this presentation, the current study confirms that variance in learning preferences and motivations affected Chinese international student strategy preference at US universities the most. Studies have also revealed that differences in academic majors and teaching method may lead to various application of LLS. The core skills and knowledge required by different majors, active class participation, and critical thinking skills promoted by instructors at universities in the US motivate students to employ different strategies. So this is the end of my presentations. I hope you got some useful information from my presentations. Thank you for listening to me, and stay cool, okay?